16-year-old Rafi Morales grew up in a humble barangay tucked between the hills of Cebu. Life there was simple: roosters crowing at sunrise, neighbors exchanging greetings across bamboo fences, and the faint smell of home-cooked food drifting from their small family carinderia. Every morning before school, Rafi helped his mother prepare dishes, slicing tomatoes while humming old Elvis Presley songs. These weren't songs he learned from YouTube or school, they were treasures from his late grandfather's dusty vinyl collection. Rafi's grandfather, whom he called Lolo Ben, was the first to notice the boy's unusual voice. "You have an old soul, Apo," he often said while gently placing an Elvis record on the turntable. Lolo Ben passed away 2 years earlier, but his memory lived on through every tune Rafi sang. He carried those melodies like quiet prayers in his heart. One evening, during the barangay fiesta, Rafi was persuaded to sing for the crowd. He stood shyly on a makeshift stage, clutching his old guitar. When he began, "Can't Help Falling in Love," his soft voice blossomed into something rich and timeless. People stopped eating, children stopped playing, and even the noisy karaoke machine from the next street fell silent. Someone recorded the moment on a phone. The video quickly spread across Cebu, then across the Philippines. Neighbors would stop Rafi on the street saying, "You sound like Elvis." But he always shook his head and smiled shyly. Weeks later, while wiping tables in their carinderia, Rafi received an unexpected email, an invitation to audition for America's Got Talent. He thought it was a prank until a second, more detailed email arrived. His parents cried, his neighbors cheered, the whole barangay contributed to his travel fund. When Rafi arrives at the AGT studio in Pasadena, his heart pounds like a drum in his chest. He has never seen so many bright lights, towering cameras, and bustling crew members rushing across the hallway. Contestants rehearse in corners, some humming, others dancing, each one exuding confidence. Rafi, meanwhile, holds his guitar with both hands as if it's the only steady thing in his world. A production assistant leads him backstage. "You'll do great," she says with a warm smile, but her words barely sink in, he's too overwhelmed. Through the curtain, he can hear the crowd roaring for the act before him, a huge sound that feels almost unreal to a teenager who grew up singing to neighbors and fiestas. Finally, his name is called. Next on stage, Rafael Morales from Cebu, Philippines. The curtain lifts, and Rafi steps into a blinding world of light and noise. The AGT stage stretches out before him like a universe he was never meant to enter. The judges sit in a row, Heidi smiling warmly, Sophia leaning forward with curiosity, Howie giving a small wave, and Simon staring at him with that signature unreadable expression. Rafi swallows hard and forces himself to speak. Sophia asks, "Where are you from, sweetheart?" "From Cebu, Philippines," he answers softly, his accent gentle but clear. Simon leans closer. "And why did you choose to audition today?" Rafi hesitates, then says, I sing because of my grandfather. He loved old songs. I want to honor him." The sincerity in his voice draws a soft murmur from the audience. Rafi steps to the microphone. His fingers tremble as he positions the guitar strap on his shoulder. He closes his eyes, breathes deeply, and strums the first chord. Instantly, the room falls silent. The very first note Rafi sings sends a ripple across the entire auditorium. He chooses, "Love Me Tender," a song his grandfather used to sing every Sunday morning while watering the plants. Rafi closes his eyes, and for a moment, he forgets about the cameras, the judges, and the thousands of people staring at him. All he remembers is the warmth of Lolo Ben's voice and how it filled their small Cebu living room. Rafi's tone is soft at first, gentle like a whisper carried by the wind. But with the second line, something shifts. His voice deepens, smooth and velvety, carrying the same emotional weight Elvis himself was known for. The audience leans forward, brows raising, breaths pausing. They did not expect this shy Cebu teen to suddenly sound like a reincarnation of the king of rock and roll. Sophia places her hand over her chest. Heidi's eyes widen. Howie glances at Simon in disbelief. Simon, usually stoic, narrows his eyes and watches Rafi with unusual intensity. It's as though he is trying to understand how such a young boy could channel such an ageless voice. Midway through the performance, the stage lights shift to a deep blue, casting a dreamlike glow around Rafi. His voice grows stronger, more confident, yet still beautifully controlled. Every vibrato, every soft glide into the next note feels intentional, like he's telling a story through each breath. Audience members begin whispering, "He sounds like Elvis. Where did this kid come from?" As Raffi reaches the final line, he sings it with a softness that feels like a farewell, one last message to his late grandfather. The note hangs in the air, delicate and haunting. The applause continues long after Raffi lowers his guitar. He stands frozen on stage, cheeks flushed, unsure if he should smile or bow. The moment feels unreal, like he's still dreaming on the flight from Cebu. When the clapping finally settles, the judges lean toward their microphones, but it's Simon who speaks first. He clears his throat softly, an action so rare that Heidi and Howie exchange glances. Simon stares at Raffi with an expression that is neither his usual stern judge face nor his familiar smirk. Instead, it's something gentler, almost vulnerable. "Raffi," he begins, voice lower than usual. "That wasn't just good, that was personal." The crowd murmurs, sensing the gravity of his tone. Simon continues, "My father loved Elvis. I grew up listening to those songs every single weekend. Hearing you sing just now, it felt like being transported back to my childhood. It felt like coming home." The audience lets out a soft, collective "ah." Even Raffi's hands begin to tremble. Heidi adds, "You didn't imitate Elvis. You honored him, with your own heart." Sophia nods vigorously. "And your voice, it was so soothing, so full of emotion. I felt it here." She touches her chest. Howie leans forward. "You don't just have talent, you have soul." But it is Simon's reaction that captures everyone's attention. He leans back in his chair, exhaling. "Raffi, I don't usually say this, but if Elvis were still with us today, I believe he would be proud of you." The audience erupts again. Raffi covers his mouth with his hand, overwhelmed. Tears gather in his eyes, not because of the praise, but because he realizes the truth. His grandfather's voice, his legacy, had reached one of the biggest stages in the world. The judges are still talking among themselves when Raffi wipes away a quiet tear, unsure how to respond to so much praise. The audience, still buzzing with excitement, begins chanting his name softly. "Raffi, Raffi, Raffi." Heidi leans into her microphone. "That performance felt like a gift," she says warmly. "Your grandfather must be so proud." Raffi smiles shyly, clutching the neck of his guitar. "Thank you, ma'am," he whispers, his voice cracking from emotion. Before Heidi can continue her thoughts, Sophia suddenly raises her hand, interrupting the conversation. Her eyes are wide and sparkling, almost mischievous. The audience senses something coming in. Gets louder. "Wait," Sophia says dramatically. I feel something in my heart right now." The crowd roars in anticipation. Raffi blinks in confusion. Sophia turns to Raffi. "You didn't just sing. You told a story. You brought your grandfather to life. And you made this whole room feel something beautiful." Then, without another word, she stands up and slams her palm onto the golden buzzer. The studio explodes with gold confetti. The music swells. The audience leaps to its feet with screams and cheers. Raffi gasps, taking a shaky step backward, his eyes widening in disbelief. His hands cover his face as the rain of shimmering gold falls around him. Emotion overtakes him. Tears stream down his cheeks as he drops to his knees, overwhelmed by the moment. The stage lights glow warm and golden, making him look like he's standing in a dream. Simon stands up, a rare gesture, and walks toward the stage. He places a gentle hand on Raffi's shoulder. "Your grandfather is smiling right now," Simon says softly, almost fatherly. "You earned this." Raffi hugs his guitar tightly, crying and laughing at the same time. The audience chants louder and louder.